Well, hello there. I hope you all are doing well. I am Demetra K, and this is Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. We are live. It is Wednesday. This show has been called a whole lot of things, but since it's election season, we just gonna keep on rolling with election topics. But nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you and hello and welcome to YouTube and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family and participants. And sometimes we do share the link. If I share the link and your profile looks like this, please show me this. And then if you are not comfortable with having, yourself on there in real time, you can go back to this. All I ask is that we are respectful in the comment section, and we're also respectful here on the platform, as we often disagree. It's not that we disagree, it is how we disagree. So let's be mindful of that. Today, we're going to be talking about that of Rickey Smiley. I was in the car and I heard him, giving us the business. So I, took my phone and I recorded it. So I have most of it for you. Now I cut out some parts, some of the fluff and, some things that kind of were like repetitive, but you guys are going to listen to it. And I want you guys to hear his admonishment for Black people who are on the internet that do not support Kamala. He's really heated. And I saw somebody actually heard it too on the radio. So you guys are going to listen to that. And then I'm also going to just briefly talk about what I heard from Vice President nominee Tim Walz during his speech. So Donovan, how are you?
I am doing great. 100-degree weather here in the desert. Geez, it is smoking hot out here. But, fire season, all that other great stuff. It's just the cost of living in California. By the way, there was an earthquake last night, and that was kind of interesting. It was really, really interesting. But, in California, it's just like Jesus. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready when it comes. Okay. So just remember that. But hey, you guys, you see that scrolling banner at the bottom? That is where you can help the channel and donate and keep the content creator motivated. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, cars, we take it all. No, joking. However you want to help us do that, because it does take time, money, and effort to make these videos, and anything that you guys can put together to help the content go farther, it would be greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You could get it on Google Play and also on the Apple Store. In that app, you will be subjected to Vicky Dillard, Brother Phil Scott, Demetra K, and a host of other producers that cover the African diaspora around the world. A lot of great content there. Again, if you guys don't want to download the app, because like I said, I'm a little older too. I'm getting tired of go online, but I do know how to go online enough. And you can go on YouTube and you could become and subscribe and become a member there. Month subscription, 6-month subscription. I think the year subscription is the thing to do, because that's what I'm doing. That way your credit card isn't being charged every month and all that other good stuff. So don't forget the African Diaspora News Channel app. Download it today. And also, again, the scrolling banner at the bottom, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, however you guys want to do it. That helps the content creator continue to make these great videos and have these great discussions. Demetra, I did not hear Rickey Smiley today. I was at the gym, but I'm looking forward to what he has to say, because I remember when Kamala first announced in 2020, Rickey Smiley was, that's my sorority. Y'all gotta get out there. Vote. It's my sorority. She AKA, she this, she that, blah, blah, blah. Y'all gotta vote. Y'all gotta vote. That campaign came crushing down as fast as it rose. So this is gonna be interesting. I'm seeing the playbook being replayed again. High expectations, reality of a crash campaign. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much for Donovan and Brother Reggie for that reminder. And Jupiter, how you doing? Who else came on here? Kerman, how are you? Yikoba, hope you're doing well. Long time no see. And Iron Will, same to you. And Sir Black. All right, so let's get into it for the sake of time. So I was in the car today, and I heard actually what happened was Maria. Okay, she's one of the co-hosts, I guess, on the show, and she asked Rickey, what do you think about Tim Walz, right? And he, I guess she was trying to articulate how he felt, and she says, "Well, what do you like about him?" And he says, "Oh, I like that he's kind of got, he's like a football coach." Well, he is a football coach, and that was kind of like the gist of what he was saying. And then he went into this tangent about Black people on the internet. How, basically, how dare you wrong for this. And I'm going to play you about 4 minutes of it. Okay. So I cut some of it out. I cut out the part when he was talking about Trump and at the rally, and how Kamala called the guy's family that was shot and, and killed. But Trump didn't do it, which is a lie. We saw Trump, honor him and all that, and had his fireman jacket and all of that. So, but y'all ready for this? And if y'all want me to read your comments, just, kind of slow down so I can do that. But here we go.
Court too, but I'm with her because a vote for her. If you sit at home and you don't support her, you are definitely supporting Donald Trump. You can vote for who you want to, but don't be trying to encourage other people and sit up there and put bad stuff. Where's that same energy for Donald Trump? Y'all not even out here doing real research and look at her record. If you do the research or whatever, stop believing everything you read and do real research, you can see what a record is. You can see what she have done. I think you can Google what have Kamala Harris done for the Black community, or things that black people benefit from a lot. We need to stand with her. We need to stand with her. She's great. She will make a great president. And what a blessing to be living in a time where a Black woman can become president of the United States of America. In our time, we get a Black man and a Black woman become president. That's unheard of.
Let me just tell you something right here that could be very historic. And Kay pointed this out to me. If Kamala Harris is elected, she would be sworn in.
She could be sworn
on
in
MLK Day
by the first Black Supreme
and
Court,
and possibly by Ketanji Brown Jackson.
Wow.
Does that not give you chills?
Stop it.
Does that not send
Maria?
Just make your whole body vibrate?
Maria,
oh my
I can
gosh.
go deep in the neck. You got a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated reading in a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated into the damn White House. What's wrong with y'all?
Come on, man.
MLK holiday.
But y'all mad because she ain't talking about reparations.
Y'all realize Medgar Evers died for voting rights? All these people that have risked their lives from slavery up into the civil rights movement, just so we can have an opportunity to do what we do, to do what we can do. We ain't seen nothing like this since Barack Obama was running for president in 2008. We need to stop.
The great John Lewis.
Right. John Lewis and Ralph Abernathy. All of these people that have paved the way for us. We are the new civil rights leaders. We got to get behind people like Ben Crump and Kamala Harris and all these people out here that's doing, like Roland Martin and all of these people that's out here, and Joy Reid. If you want to be educated, if you really want to know the truth, all you got to do is turn to MSNBC and watch Joy Reid, and she gonna give you a whole history lesson every night on MSNBC, and then after that, Rachel Maddow. All you gotta do is just watch.
And it's not opinion, it's facts.
Don't do this right here.
And
don't be on the internet doing Kamala Harris like that. I don't care what issue you got with Black women. Your mama's a Black woman. How about that? Let's start there. I don't care what and I'm talking to the men right here. Your mother is a Black woman. Don't forget that. Don't forget that your sister is a Black woman. And as a Black man, I stand proudly with Kamala Harris this morning with tears in my eyes. It means so much to me. Do you know the lady picked up the phone and called me when my son died? How about that? How about how personal her and Joe Biden has been? How about Joe Biden wrote me a letter naming my grandkids and naming my son's name in a personal handwritten letter? How kind, how thoughtful, how genuine, they're just genuine and sincere. And I love people like that. If you look at their policy, you'll know what's going on. We need to stop, Black people. Stop it. Stop attacking Kamala Harris. Stop it with the self-hatred. Even if you don't agree with everything she do, what do you think she can do as the vice president? She ain't not in control of the Congress and the Senate. If you know how government works, we got an opportunity here of a lifetime. We'll be dead and gone, but we can say our generation, because we're not going to live ever, that we voted a black man and a black woman to become president of the United States. That's history. This is what Dr. King died for. This is what Medgar Evers died for. This is what Rosa Parks went to jail for. All of the sacrifices that black people had to make. We're going to have her on the show. We're going to support her on this show. We're going to support her. And I cannot wait, if God let me live to see a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated read in, swear in a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. As being in the Greek family myself.
Woo! So, as I said, it was about 7-8 minutes long, and I, cut it down with the, everybody else speaking and things like that. But he was pretty mad. He was really mad with, I guess, us. He's really mad with us. And as you heard, let me see if I could put it back up here. Well, I think his name is Special K, because, it's a few of them. And he says, and stop asking about reparations. What? So we're not supposed to ask about reparations? No, we're supposed to get behind Kamala, Donovan, because your mama black, Brother Samuel, your mama black, Brother Reggie, your mama black, Alonzo, your mama black. So y'all supposed to get behind Kamala because you got black mamas. Never mind asking Kamala for something. Never mind asking the Democrats for something. Just get behind her. And like he said, it's going to be, if she wins, Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is, a Delta, is going to be able to swear in AKA. And it's so symbolic on MLK Day and all this other nonsense. But nevertheless, he mad with us because we need to stop it. Just stop it. Stop doing Kamala like that. And he was crying. Y'all heard the man. I got tears in my eyes. Because Kamala, called him in RIP to his son. He lost a son not too long ago. Called him. Joe Biden wrote him a letter. Named all the grandkids and everything like that. So he feels like we should get behind Kamala. So yeah, I'm going to let y'all heard it for yourself. Donovan.
Let me start by saying this. What the hell does my mama being black have to do with how I vote in my interest for my individual family? I don't have any choice of who births me into the world. So that's the most stupidest argument I've ever heard. Love who you want to love, Chinese, black, whatever, just do you. Number two, what you guys just heard there was nothing but pure symbolism. Everything he named, and I'm going to go down the list here. He said, you need to listen, we need to follow in the steps of Barack Obama. What did Barack Obama do for black people? Absolutely nothing. He said, John Lewis. I had a podcast called Black Politicians Ain't Ish, and I showed that John Lewis did nothing in his 30 plus years in Congress. I'm not talking his civil rights record. I said as a congressional member, he did nothing for black people. Ben Crump, don't need to say much about that other than what you guys already know. Roland Martin, that says it all right there. If he's going to bring up Roland Martin, we know where this guy stands. Joyless Reed, he's telling you to go watch MSNBC. The guy defeated his whole argument for people to support Kamala. Everything that he named those are allegedly paid agents of the Democratic Party. He gave no specific reason to support Kamala. He didn't name any policy because he can't name any policy. Rickey Smiley, I think, is a fraternity guy, whatever the deal is. All these people care about is symbolic things that's going to have them have more parties for these secret societies. Now, I'm on the West Coast. Greek fraternities and sororities aren't really big here. And we have them, but we don't put our lives in front of, all this Greek stuff like they do on the East Coast. Every time I talk to one of my Greek friends and they say, oh yeah, we're in the community, we're doing stuff. And I tell them, well, what are you doing in the community? Name me something. They never can, but they can always tell me where the party's at. They can always tell me where the conference and the party's at, but they can't name anything of substance that they do in the Black community, but they're always talking about they're in the community. So basically, it tells you guys right there, who this guy gets paid by, allegedly. I mean, he couldn't name one policy. To me, if I'm going to sway somebody to do something or to vote for somebody, could you please name one policy? He's basically telling you, it don't matter what her policy is. Who cares? It don't matter you guys are going to be enslaved for another 500 years. Who gives a damn? Just vote for her because she's Black. We're not that dumb. We had a Black president, symbolic. I voted for him twice. Demetra voted for him twice. You've got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from your mistakes. And I think a lot of Black people have. We want policy so I could make an informed decision. Here's a guy telling you what you need to do, and he himself cannot name one policy. Talk about Google all the stuff that she's done for Black people. Well, dude, you're talking about it. Tell us one. Tell us one. It's just telling.
Yeah, and as I said, I was listening to that and I was like, wow, like he big mad. Now I get it. Sometimes on the internet, people lie and they say, foolishness and things like that. But for the most part, those of us, like Donovan said, we're not going to lie to kick it. We used to be Democrats too. We're not, we weren't always aware. And listen, we're not Republicans either. So I just want to put that out there. But it's like, you mad at us because we are asking something for the vote? And in that same train of thought, he doesn't want us to question Kamala, say nothing to her about Kamala. Just go vote for Kamala, as her and Tim, her running mate, are big on immigration. They got the borders wide open, and they're making it easier and easier for them to come in here, them being immigrants, come in here and get all that there is to get, but tell Black people, as Kamala said, no, I'm not going to do something that just benefits Black people. No. But Rickey wants us to go to the voting booth and vote for that. Never answering, as his co-host said, and stop asking about reparations. We want what was owed to our ancestors. We want that, but that's a problem. So we just supposed to just go into the booth as we usually do, because that's some of that is on us, and blindly vote just out of party loyalty. The Democrats are the party of Black people. We supposed to go just vote for that. And he was really mad to the point of tears. This man was mad to the point of tears because Black people are saying no more. Not all of us, but a lot of us are saying no more. You're going to have to give me something for my vote. No more. And he's mad about that, telling us to just stop it. Just stop it. Like, who is she? Kamala's not better than us. The fraternities and sororities, they're not better than us. And that's the other thing. They think that they have been put in charge of us. Joy is probably in a sorority. We know Roland is. All those people he listed are fraternity and sorority members. But us commoners are supposed to stop and listen to them because they know what they talking about. None of them are listening to what Black people are saying. I'll go vote for you, Kamala. But am I going to get reparations or a hate crime bill or something specific for our people? And don't tell me about, we're funding businesses in the HBCUs, because not every Black person has a business and not every Black person goes to an HBCU. So what's in it for the regular people? The people that's getting the migrants moved into their neighborhoods that they got to watch get EBT cards and housing and all kind of other stuff in California. They're taking care of migrants, no matter what their immigration status is, to the tune of $2.6 billion a year in health care. Well, we got homeless people sleeping on the street, and Rickey is mad because black people are saying we are no longer going to go and vote so everybody else could get something while we're continuously told no. How we should be mad at him. And hold on one second. Let's see. VL, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. And I'm going to try to get to you guys' comments. There's just so many of you guys in here. So if y'all have a specific question, just put a Q by it and I'll try my best to answer. But thank you once again. Donovan?
I didn't think you were finished yet. But yeah, you bring up some great points. Again, the one thing I like about this show and about dealing with our co-hosts here in the chat, some of you guys say some great things. Some of you guys say some crazy things. And that's what it's supposed to be about, a conversation. But one of the things that you guys do say, and I've learned from just reading your comments, is the coding, how to read the code words. Remember the other day when I was saying somebody would say something and then they would, at the end of it, post date it with a fear-mongering tactic.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you kind of could like pick out, oh, this person's a paid agent or a shill or whatever they're doing. They are afraid because, again, just like Brother Phil Scott said, there are some of us in our community that want to be comfortable in captivity. They just want to be comfortable. They don't care. Malcolm X said it years ago. He said, you would go to the Uncle Tom and say, let's run away. Let's just get away from here. And then the house Negro would be like, well, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Any place is better than here. You know what I mean? That whole analogy just made so much sense 60 something years ago. You have these house niggas that will make any excuse to keep you on the plantation. And now that they see so many of us are walking off of the plantation, they're in panic because now they cannot get the butter biscuits that master wants them to do, or, and keep us in line and stuff. We're just not listening. After Obama, people saw for themselves that these black politicians are not doing the work. And here's even a better example. If you guys woke up this morning, Cori Bush lost her Democratic primary. Cori Bush is part of the squad, right? This progressive, oh, we're going to go give it to him, whatever, until Nancy Pelosi slapped him down. Whatever the deal is, right? That is an indicator of what is happening. Dimitri, didn't we say this last year when Louisiana didn't elect that black governor and all those people sat down? We've been seeing election after election of black people putting a message out there saying no more, no tangibles, no vote. You want this? We want this. If we didn't get what we want, you got to go. A thing about Cori Bush, a cautionary tale about Cori Bush is this. If you do not take care of, number one, the people you represent, the people that voted for you to go do their business, they're getting rid of you. They're done. Yes, it is true. AIPAC put a lot of money behind her opponents. That doesn't matter because it still takes votes to get Cori Bush out. They can spend all the money they want. It's an individual vote. And obviously the people in her, you talk about St. Louis, predominantly black area, they gave her the boot. This should be a wake up for all Democratic representatives that we don't care you're a Democrat. We don't care you're for this. We don't care you're for women's rights. We don't care you're for this or that. You ain't doing the business of our district. You're getting the hell up out of here. Cautionary tale.
Yes, indeed. It's a rude awakening for her. Jamal Bowman was one in June. He got unseated as well. But a lot of that has to do with AIPAC because they're very, pro-Palestine, if you will. And the How You Doing says, question, how much money do you think they're paying these people to sell us out? I don't know because I haven't seen any money change hands, but I say allegedly they're probably getting something to do it. We know that Kamala and Biden, they had a budget that is probably bigger now, $25 million. They hired a black director outreach, if you will, to the black community, and they're spending about $25 million to do that. So it's possible that they got some of that. And I should also say on her website, because I know Brother Phil is doing a great job of policy watch to see if she's putting up any policies. I noticed that she put up a bunch of, I guess there's a hiring, right, positions for people to apply for to help get her elected. And let's see here. Let me go on down. And there's so many of y'all. I would love to read them all. And thank you once again. You say, so, I'm a veteran group. I'm in a veteran group, rather, of 1.2 million, and we're not feeling this. Whomever the pick is, we don't do stolen valor. And as vets, we are treated horribly. It says immigrants make more than us. Yeah. And I get what you mean about, stolen valor, if you will. I think with Kamala not really being selected, she just kind of switched places with Joe Biden. The people per se did not vote her in. Let's see here. And I saw someone else made a donation. It disappeared. But thank you so much. Y'all are really doing a whole lot of typing. But I also saw somebody.
Well, the thing is too, Demetri, we're getting a lot more traffic as the political season is heating up. So we're getting a lot more of trolling, and we're getting a lot of new people that are just awesome in their comments.
Do you see somebody who is saying something, different? And that's fine if they are. I just so many comments.
Oh, well, there's one lady. I like her. I like reading you guys's, like I'm the recovering Democrat, you guys's titles. There's one, her name is Curly Toe something there. I lost it because you got to typing so fast, but keep the comments coming. Curly Toe Chronicles. That's what it's called. Curly Toe Chronicles.
And I'm going to actually have Donovan monitor the comments. So if you see something that, I really need to read, just let me know. Like I said, I'd love to read all you guys' comments. Hey, Easy, how you doing? But somebody made a great comment about the HBCUs. And I actually did a video about it where, Coach Deion Sanders was at Jackson State and he had to leave due to money and a whole host of other issues. But then, these good old black men and women get together in no time and raise all that money for Kamala, who hasn't done anything for them at all. Hasn't said, Kamala, maybe I'm wrong. Kamala hasn't said, you know what? I know I said I wasn't going to do unjust for black people, but I've changed my mind. Has she said that? She hasn't said that, but yet they get together and all these black men and all these black women get on Zoom and they raise all that money. And then you're mad at Deion Sanders because he was like, hey, you know what? Y'all ain't really treat me right, and you call him a sellout and all kind of stuff because he went to the white school and they came up with $25 million just like that. But, the HBCUs, and I'm sure a lot of people that went to HBCUs, the fraternities and sororities were on those calls, digging in your pocket, giving it to Kamala, and Kamala ain't gave you one reason as to why you should do that. Not one.
Right. And then you got to think of the HBCUs. Okay, when Deion kind of exposed what was going on, how do you have football games completely sold out, and yet there's no money to upgrade facilities and all this other stuff, right? Now, HBCUs are funded by the federal government. How is all of this money going to these HBCU schools, specific schools, that were historically black with white people's names on them, but still one and the same, and yet you go to the infrastructure of the schools or you go to the dormitories and they're run down, whatever. What is happening to all of this money? Where is this money going? My son went to an HBCU, Hampton University, went there. It's a nice little campus and stuff, but they still had all of these problems. But yet they're being allocated billions of dollars every year, or, it was millions up for a while, but now recently it's billions of dollars. But yet you look at the infrastructure of the school, and you look at the salary of the administration, it doesn't make sense that these students and their parents have to pay such a high amount of money for such less resources.
Yeah, so, there's a lot going on there. And, I agree. Really shouldn't pay Rickey no mind, but y'all got to realize Rickey has a giant platform. He's over the airways, which is great. He's blessed in that way. He's got millions of followers all over social media. And he's basically telling y'all, because, what do the Democrats say? Democracy's in danger, right? He's telling y'all shouldn't be exercising democracy. Get in line. Do what we tell you to do. Y'all leave Kamala alone. Shame on you for asking Kamala. And, like I said, I'm not talking about the people who's, talking bad about it. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be doing that. But, people are saying, well, we heard Kamala say up out of her own mouth, and I'm not doing nothing for you. So you want us to go vote for that? Because, again, I think we really need to understand that when we vote, and listen, and I always have to say this because I know some, people think, oh, y'all Republicans. We're not. We are not Republicans. We know the Republicans do not mean black people any earthly good either, but the Republicans do not show up at our churches. They don't show up at, having fish fries and sending twerkers and no voting, no vucking. They don't do that to us. That's Kamala and them. Kamala had Megan Thee Stallion shake all her behind at a rally as if that was acceptable to give to black people. Like they don't take black people seriously at all. And some of that is our fault because some of us are all right with a fish fry, with a Kamala, hip hop day. Some of us are all right with that. So they say, you know what? They like low hanging fruit. Let's give them more of it. It's cheap. They're giving us Vienna sausages from the Dollar Tree, and we're okay with that. While people like your immigrants and everybody else coming over here and getting T-bone steak. I don't even know if that's a good grade of steak because I don't eat like that, but they getting steak. We're getting Vienna sausages from the Dollar Tree, and there's somebody like
hash.
Yeah, and somebody that's spam. And no shade, I know some people still like spam. I'm just traumatized by it. But Rickey is mad that we're like, I don't want no more Vienna sausages. I want what everybody else is getting. I want a hate crime bill. I want housing. I want, medical coverage. I want a big giant EBT card. I want all the bells and the whistles, the chips and the dips too. And guess what? They can't get that without us. So why we can't get nothing? Nothing for Black Americans who make this possible? Even Joe Biden stood up there when he got elected and lied, which we knew he was lying, right? Black Americans, y'all have stood by me and I'm going to stand by you. I'm going to have y'all back. And that was the last thing I think he really said to black people other than the black misleadership when he said, y'all need to listen to me. The Hispanics are taking over. Y'all need to, he wasn't lying about that because we see it. So you got people like Rickey and all his co-hosts and all his sorors and fraternity brothers and all this other stuff telling everybody to go line up for more of nothing. Shut your mouth. Don't you complain about it. Don't you say nothing about Kamala that has been adverse to people in California. I had two of them on here a couple of weeks ago. Don't complain about that because you got a black mama. And you should love the kick in the tailbone that Kamala and all the other Democrats have been giving you. Just put up with it. It's crazy.
Well, I want to say this, and I'm going to go back to how they expect us to just vote for nothing and just stay where we're at and just continue to get nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking for both, but specifically ladies. I just want to paraphrase the ladies. Would you stay with the man that tells you he's not going to do nothing for you? Would you stay with the man that would say to you, I'm not going to do nothing for you, but I want you to do your duties for me? Vote for me, cook for me, clean for me, stuff like that. Would you guys do that? What intelligent person, unless you are on some serious meds or you're on some serious type of drugs, would accept a deal like that? Nobody. And that's what kills me about the Democratic Party.
Let's go a little step further, okay? Who is the backbone of the Democratic Party?
Black women.
Black women. That's what they call black women. Black women Democrats are the backbone of the Democratic Party. And I did a video about this on the Black Congregation channel. Y'all check this out, okay? The black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party. She shows up every time the Democrats put the bat signal. The black woman shows up and she strolls to the polls and she doing all this other stuff. And they say, black women, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you, black women. Thank you, black women. Thank you, black women. And what does she get for it, Donovan? What does the black woman get for that?
I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can. You get the same thing that a lot of women get that give it away for free: a wet wop and an empty purse. That's what you get.
That was a little too colorful. Hey, Crystal, thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. And I think your average logical thinker, you gave a donation as well. I'm trying to keep up with all of them, but thank you. Thank you.
But was I close to it? If you get my analogy?
Yeah, so I'm not saying Black women, us, but that so-called backbone of the Democratic Party gets the Democrats, and see, they get y'all in line, suckers. That's them talking to y'all, okay? The brothers, suckers, be quiet. Just get in line. Simone Sanders told y'all that nobody talking to y'all. You know, y'all be quiet. They want y'all to get in line, and they dismiss. When I say they, I'm talking about the Democrats. They dismiss the Black man. And they're going to blame y'all if she don't get it to the White House. They don't talk to y'all. Do they say the Black man is the backbone of the Democratic Party? They don't even talk about y'all. But they want to get up in the barbershop to pretend like they're talking to you. And, you know, Kamala's going to show up and hee, ha, ha, and all this other stuff. And then they're going to tell y'all to, you know, go back in the closet, Otis, until next year. But they put that Black woman, even at the National Association of Black Journalists.
Yeah, how she talked to Donald Trump.
But not even that. Roland Martin, who is, you know, the super, I was going to say something. He's like supposed to be this Black authority on politics and all kind of stuff. They didn't even think enough of him to have him up there. And he does probably some of the most bending over for the Democratic Party. And they didn't even think enough to have him up there. That's very telling of how the Democrats think of Black men.
But the thing is, he was so mad that he was shouting from the audience. He was shouting from the audience like he's supposed to be up there. You know, it was just, you know, you got these Democratic agents. I'm gonna call him an agent, and all Roland Martin cares about is money. But you know, if you fund me, I could get them in line, boss. Just give me the money, and you know, I need more money so I could get them on the plantation. But then what they don't show you is when Roland Martin is on the ground walking around, how he's confronted by a lot of people who have questions with his stance on, you know, where he's at and what it is. And Roland runs when he's confronted with actual questions.
Measure man, now you know you wrong for that. But thank you for the donation. Not you coming from Joy Reid's edges.
And y'all better be careful about Joy Reid. She was running around with a Trump wig on. So it could be a shell game. No matter how we play, good cop, bad cop, you know, we might lose. But like you said, Republicans don't come knocking on our door. They don't come to our churches. They don't worry about the Black vote. They're not concerned about the Black vote. It'd be nice. Any additional Black vote that Republicans can get, that's a plus for them, and it's a minus for the Democrats. But all in general, they don't worry about it.
Yep, and Cyber 9 and 100. Thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. It says Rickey Smiley is just famous, not our boss, but he thinks that he is. Y'all heard him? How upset he was. And if y'all didn't hear it, it's at the beginning, but he was really upset, telling us, don't do that. Leave Kamala alone, you know. And it's like, wow. And like I said, I just happened to be in the car, and I quickly, you know, turned on my phone and recorded because I was like, oh, this gonna be good here. Silverback, thank you so much for the donation. Love it. Appreciate you for that. But yeah, it's at first when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of funny. But then I kind of got mad. I'm like, he dead serious. And, you know, all his co-hosts co-signing. And I was stop asking for reparations. But they don't never say that about nobody else who's asking for something. But Black people, we need to stop asking for reparations. Just get in line. Get in line for what?
Well, here's my question, though. Here's my question, though. With us being at the bottom of the social economic scale in this country, and there's white people are 11 times value more so than the Black household. They have 11 times more value annually than the black household does. It's going to take 250 something years for black people to catch up to white wealth, even though the Asians are at the very top. We're just going to deal with the white folks. Number two, it's going to catch us all of that. How are we supposed to change our plight in such a short amount of time if we don't get reparations? These are educated people. Economists have already put the numbers out there. So here, this educated boule, if we don't ask for reparations, especially since they took a third of our wealth in 2008, and they're continuing to take our wealth, mind you guys, when the pandemic happened, how many black businesses were lost during the pandemic? So there's more wealth taken from the black community. They're bringing in these illegal immigrants and all this other stuff. What other thing can we do but get reparations to catch up or even to stay in the game? These are educated people, though.
Yeah, we know they got it. And Margot Tina, how you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you. Says, please do a piece on Urban One. They are the puppet masters for the DNC outreach to black people. DL, ooh, don't get me started on DL. Ricky, Roland, and the rest could care less about black people. You're absolutely right. They don't care. They don't. And DL, it's just like, I'm gonna be nice.
And no shade to DL. He's a very successful man. I saw him in Vegas when he first started out in comedy and stuff. It's very hard for me, and I'm not saying you got to have an education to be successful, because obviously he is. There's a lot of people who are successful without education. Most of your billionaires did not complete college, okay? But I digress. When I see a man that talks ignorant and he's a high school dropout, I don't seem to follow a person like that.
How you doing now? He says, if Kamala won the sorrow with Ricky be saying all those things. If he won, I'm not sure what that means. If you want to rewrite that, Donovan is good at deciphering stuff. I know sometimes y'all be typing fast. Uh-oh, do you want to put it back up? You got, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get to some of y'all comments now. I apologize. There's a lot of y'all on here. So let me see if I can get to some of you guys' comments. Negroes, how you doing? Says, why do women over 40 care about abortion? What y'all doing? Well, some women are 40-ish, they can still do it, but that's another thing too. They talk about women's rights or reproductive rights, and we know what they're talking about. We know what they're talking about. They're talking about being able to delete babies, and they talk more so about that to our women. And our women, the backbone, will go and vote for that. Not asking Kamala, okay, well, what does this all mean, right? The reproductive rights. I get it. There should be reproductive rights, right? I don't really believe that anybody else should be in a woman's business as far as her reproductive or what she does with her doctors. But if you're talking about the deletion of babies, that's a whole different story. That's what they're talking about. And that's not a net positive for the black community. It actually harms the black community because disproportionately, our women do it more. And I say disproportionately because, of course, we know white women are more in population than black women. But if you're looking at the numbers, the last time I looked, it said black women do it to the tune of like 34, almost 35%. And this is a couple of years ago when I looked. They said white women do it to the tune of 36%. So if white women are more in population than black women, that's where the disproportionate comes in at. So that's what they talk to us about. It's like, we don't want that type of reproductive rights. We want to check. Because if you think about it, a lot of women have, that procedure because they cannot afford to take care of their children. Now, I know there's another conversation. You shouldn't be doing it if you can't afford the babies or whatever. But imagine if we had that reparations check. Then more women, especially in our community, I believe, would keep their babies. I don't know. So anyway, let me skip on down. There's so many of you, and welcome to everybody who was new on here. Love and appreciate you. Measured Men, thank you once again. You say they are upset. They are like who told them about the gun line? Is that what it is? He's crashing on Twitter. And who is that that's crashing out on Twitter? Hello, Ron the Truth. And let's see here. Everybody else that came on here. Ooh, okay, let me get down to, let me see. Donovan, was you going to say something?
I was reading the comments. Like I said, you guys are typing fast. Slow down a little bit, and she'll get to you. But you know, I'm going to say this. I stay up late at night and I kind of look at the news so I could be kind of well versed at what's going on in the news locally. And remember, I've always told people on this show, The Matrix is the perfect movie to see what's going on. A lot of people base how they vote on how they feel. And Black people are the most emotional people on the earth. We just are. You know, we like to have a good time. You know, everything's based on how we feel. So the thing is, those type of people, they vote based on how they think the world should be versus the way the world is. And if you're unplugged out of the matrix, especially if you're on this platform, obviously you are unplugged from the matrix. You see the nightmare that Black people are facing. We are now a permanent underclass. It can't get, I mean, it could get worse, but I'm talking about when you're economically, you're at the bottom. Do you guys realize where we're at technically is no different than after 1865, after the Civil War was over? You had to walk off the plantation. You have nothing. We have no wealth. We are no better than the slave that was there. But that's nothing to be sad about. It's to be glad about. Because how did those people who had absolutely nothing go on to build empire communities that white people were so jealous of that they had to bomb them and raise that town to the ground so that Black people could know their place? So I am excited a little bit, because just like being a recovering Democrat and just like being a recovering addict in anything, you have to completely crash before you start to recover. And when we all start realizing that, and I think a lot of us are seeing all of that, because we're not saying the Republican Party is any better than the Democratic Party. All we're saying is the Republican Party ain't doing the dirty work that the Democratic Party is doing toward us. The Democratic Party has mastered Stockholm syndrome of Black people. We love the Democratic Party. We're born Democrats. You know, we don't know any better. But when you know better, you do better. And that is the problem. Politics is about money and power. They don't care how they get it as long as they can get it. If they can get those votes from us and stay in power and give us nothing, I mean, you can't blame them. The playbook's been working for over 80 years. It's been working. Now everybody is like, hey, I don't have any money in my pocket. Hey, I can't put gas in my car. Hey, hold on. I can't go on a vacation. I got to finance a vacation. Yeah, I'm in perpetual jobs. This is the reality. And I think what's happening, Dimitri, is people are starting to crash into the ocean. Now there's something that we do know. Neither of these parties are any good for us. And Dimitri, have you ever noticed that when we talk about both parties ain't no good for us, nobody seems to pick, the Democratic shills don't seem to pick that part up. They just think we're just, Republicans. But both parties ain't no good for us. So in the words of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, hey, we're going to start doing for ourselves, and we're going to rebuild, and we're going to be stronger and better, especially with these younger kids that know all this technology and stuff like this. Quick story. When my sons left home, my house was all Wi-Fi, right? Was getting Wi-Fi, whatever. I didn't know the passwords. I didn't know how to set the damn thing up. When you got kids, you could give it to them. It's done. But when your kids grow up and they go on your own, look, I had to take a lot of my Wi-Fi out because I just couldn't deal with it, couldn't understand it. But I have no doubt, but like a phoenix, that we're going to rise again, because we always do.
Absolutely. And I'm reading y'all comments. Y'all are going in, and I love and appreciate y'all for the participation. But yeah, and the hopeful, like you said, couch awaits November. And that's, it's everybody's choice. If you want to vote for the couch, that is your choice. And of course, as Rickey said in the beginning of that, if you don't vote for Kamala, or you don't vote, it's a vote for Trump. And it's like, what kind of math are y'all doing? What kind of math are you doing to tell it? And that's that tricknology, right? That's that fear mongering. And a no vote is a vote for Trump. It's like, no, it's a no vote. I'm staying home. I'm not, because you're assuming that I was going to vote for Joe Biden. Did I ever tell you that? So how did you assume that me not voting was going to be a vote for Joe Biden if I voted? That's another scare tactic they're using. Oh, if you don't, listen, we know that, as Donovan quoted the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, no matter who is in that White House, Black people, we got to unite, right? Because nobody in that White House, whether it's Kamala, whether she Indian, Asian, whatever, Black, Jamaican, green, what she ain't even going to do for Black people. She's, you know what? One thing I will respect about Kamala is at least she was honest. At least she was honest that time, because she ain't honest a lot of other times, but she was honest that time. And I think that was her being cavalier and used to kicking Black people in the tailbone, because she didn't flinch. No, I'm not going to do something just to benefit Black people. No, she didn't stutter, right? She didn't hesitate. She was honest. Like, how dare you guys ask me to do something specifically for you? That's how I came off. And to this day, Kamala has not walked that back. She has not said, you know what, I was a little bit hasty. I didn't really think before I spoke. She didn't say none of that. Because you got people like your Rickies and your Rollins and your Joys and your Vans and all the other, people running around ginning up the mob to get everybody to put on their chucks and pearls and ski-wee and hoorah. I think that's the Marines or whatever. But all the way to the polls, and it's like, for what? None of them, as smart as they say they are, they're college educated and they got these fabulous degrees. Not one of them are smart enough to say, okay, wait a minute, stop the band, and y'all stop all that damn ski-weeting back there. Stop. Kamala, what are you going to do specifically for Black people? Not one of them have asked her that, but they rather be mad at us for asking for something. The Asians during the pandemic, what did they ask for? They asked for a hate crime bill because they made Black people the boogeyman. It was Black people who was doing this, that, and the other to the Asians. And so Kamala, because she's Asian, stood up there with her fellow Asian Congress members with Joe Biden. And, he signed the bill, and they asked for a bill and they got one almost immediately. Nobody told them, you know what? Let's get some studies. Let's get a committee together. Let's give them millions of dollars to really do a study to see how endangered you are. Because had they did a study, Donovan, who would they have found to be the most endangered here in America?
Black people.
Black people. If they would have did a study for the Asians, but they didn't. They got together and they got one like that. And you got Roland Martin, who blocked me on Twitter because I called him out, talking about, that hate crime bill is for everybody, but because he know most of us won't read it. Go read it. The first 5-6 paragraphs talk about Asian American Pacific Islanders. It doesn't say the AAPI community plus other marginalized or Black or women. It just says them. But he sits up there and tells y'all it's for you too. Now, name is the coronavirus 19 bill, but in verbiage, it's for them. And they got when they asked for something, got it just like that. But you, with your Black self, don't you ask for nothing. You just get in line.
Right. And then here's another thing that we got to think about. It's us against the world, just like the Tupac song. It's us against the world. The Asians are dismantling affirmative action. Instead of attacking legacy enrollment in colleges, they're going to attack affirmative action that would put people in certain things. So these people that you think that are your friends, and I have a lot of Asian friends because I was raised in Asia, and I don't like to bring up politics when I'm around my friends too much, but when it does come up, I call them out. I said, you are silent when a Black person is murdered as an Asian person, but you got a bill based on our vote. I am not quiet when it comes to speaking the truth to these groups, and I let them have it. I let them completely have it. Ask yourself this: if our policy of immigration is so wrong, and Kamala Harris was the border czar, I want each and every one of you to go to our nearest neighbor, which is Mexico, and I want you to cross into their country without using the international borders and see what happens to you. And if you can't go to that country, other than the European Union, forget that because they got rid of their borders, but they're all starting to put their borders back up now. The European Union ain't going to last too much longer. But you go to some other countries and just stay there illegally or into that country illegally, and just please tell me what will happen to you. We're the most powerful country in the world, and you mean to tell me you are going to allow military-aged men to come in here by the millions? And as president of the United States, what is a president's first, or any elected leader, especially the president, let's be specific to the president, what is the president's number one job that he has to do outside of upholding the Constitution? It's protecting the citizenry. Has Joe Biden and the Kamala Harris regime upheld the immigration laws of the United States and the protection of the American people by letting illegal immigrants flow into this country and give our money, our tax dollars that these people did not pay into, to possible people who basically invaded our country? I mean, let's just use our common sense on that. And that's where we're at. So, you know, when you're looking at this thing about don't ask for nothing, your vote is valuable. If your vote wasn't valuable, then why do they want it so bad? Why do they allot celebrities and money and all kinds of stuff just to get the black vote? Demetra, earlier this year, did you see any funding toward the Hispanic community from the Democratic Party? I didn't see any funding.
You mean me personally?
Yeah, just anything on the news, the channels. I mean, you know, when they met with the Hispanic leaders, did you see any twerking going on? Bad Bunny?
No mariachi bands
right
running around.
You didn't see that. What about when they met with the Jewish the people? Did they bring the Simpsons, Hyman Kristofsky, Krusty the Clown's dad? Did they bring him in there to speak on anything? No, they don't allot money to these people because guess what? They talk policy, but with us, we get entertainment. Entertainment. Black women are twerking about serious issues at a political rally. There's a time and a place for everything. I mean, I'm not downing twerking because, like I said, I'm a man. That girl, fine, whatever it is. But there's a time and a place for all that. But you guys got to look at it for what it is. They do not talk policy to us, and when we tell them what we want, they ignore it. Benign neglect, like you guys have been saying in the chat.
Yeah, so you know, I don't know, but like Donovan said, yeah, he took it way back with the Simpsons. Hey, Lady Diana, and everybody else who's come on here. Yeah, we're the only ones that shamed into voting for nothing. Now, mind y'all, Rickey was crying. He was crying. He said, I'm shedding tears because all Black people won't just get behind Kamala. Just get behind her. As I said, I don't know Kamala, but I don't really get the sense that she really liked Black people. I think she tolerates Black people, but I don't think she really likes Black people. And I've said that about Michelle Obama. I don't get the sense that she really likes Black people either. I think she likes Black people she rubs elbows with, but I don't never get the sense that they like Black people. So we spoke, and then Rickey, of course, you know, talking about she calls him. She calls you. What does your phone call from Kamala do for the rest of us? So what? She calls you. She probably said, did you get the check? I don't know. She calls you, right? Biden wrote you a letter, but what does that do for the rest of us? Yes, Kamala is kind to you, but she was not kind to Sheree Peoples, who was perp walked out of her house early one morning behind Kamala's very egregious, austere truancy policies, when her daughter had a reason why she wasn't in school, and they got her all up on the, camera and the news and all that other stuff. She wasn't kind to her. But because she's kind to Rickey, we all supposed to say, well, all right, forget all the harm that was done to everybody else because she was kind to Rickey. I'm sure she's kind to DL. I'm sure she's kind to Joy. I'm sure she's kind to Megan. But what does that do for the rest of us? Nothing. It's symbolism. So I'm telling y'all, because I know y'all smart, and this is actually a new day for Black people. And I don't like the word woke, but I mean it in the true sense of the word of Black people who are waking up. This is a new day for us. And we're starting to draw a lot of attention from your Rickeys and your Rollins and stuff, and they're mad as hell. They are mad as hell that we don't listen to them anymore. They are mad as hell because we decided to get off of the plantation. We decided to start thinking for ourselves. And they are mad about that. They don't want you to say, okay, I didn't have enough fish, enough biscuits and hot sauce to last me a lifetime. Now we're starting to say, I need more than that. Because when I see me and other Black people go to that booth and we cast a vote for the Democrats and we see all the migrants come over here getting what there is to get, when I see that, I know you have more than fish to give because they're not getting fish. They're not getting, and I know the Republicans said this, but, James Clyburn kind of said it too. Barack Obama was reparations. They don't get that. They actually get a check in their hand. When they get a food stamp card, you pay for that. Donovan, if your refrigerator got empty, could you go to your local welfare office and fill out an application for food stamps and get it?
Absolutely not.
They will take you through the ringer. Let's see your bank account. Let's see this. Let's see that. Let's see that.
You gotta have a Social Security card. Number one, if you ain't got that, how do you even start?
Well, how they getting it? How are they getting all of that? They just getting it.
I don't want to scare anybody, but they make us go through all of this security to get on an airplane. You got to have an ID and all this other stuff. How are these people getting on airplanes?
And the Biden administration, that includes Kamala, they were flying 30,000 immigrants from, I think it was Chile, Venezuela, two other countries. I forget what they were. They flying them over here. And Ron DeSantis was like, wait a minute, there's fraud going on here. First of all, why are y'all flying them over here? And y'all actually flying over more than you're saying you're flying. The Biden administration was like, no, that's not true. But they halted it. They suspended the program. I didn't even know they were doing that. But they got all, and if flight ain't cheap, Donovan, if you was to go right now and go on the Google Flights and say, I want to fly New York, you're going to pay a pretty penny for that. But they're making
$1,000 last minute. That's how the airlines make their money.
But you pay for them to fly over here. But as a Black man in America, you couldn't even go to your local welfare office and say, hey, my refrigerator kind of light. Can I get some food stamps? They'll tell you to get the hell up on out of here.
Exactly. And then how many of you guys, all this could be Googled. Was it not the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration that sued Governor Greg Abbott because he had razor wire in the waters? So what's that about? You're supposed to protect the borders. You're going to sue somebody that is doing your job?
Black America, I know you think I'm bougie, and I've never given y'all the impression that I was bougie. I'm the last thing. I'm the farthest thing from bougie. But yes, I know people who get food stamps. I absolutely do. And you know what? You probably know people who get food stamps too, but they just don't tell you. Because there's a lot of people who like, I'm not going to be telling all my business. A lot of times you see people getting out of those big body Mercedes and, the Gucci and the Louis and all that other stuff. They got a food stamp card in their bag. See, because they putting on for you, but they go home and ain't got no food in their refrigerator. So don't think that you'll know a person on food stamps by looking at it. Hell, your neighbor might be on some food stamps because he ain't come outside and tell you, hey, I lost my job and I can't afford to put food on the table. But when I turn on the news and I see migrants coming over here by the damn trough full of them, he ain't telling you that I'm swiping a food stamp card when I go to the grocery store because I can't afford to do that. So, yeah, I know people who getting food stamps. So let's see. I'm gonna skip down to the bottom. And again, I appreciate every last one of y'all for coming on here and the donations, everything. You guys are more than amazing. Love and appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, you know, and VO, you said some of my senior friends get food stamps. There's a lot, especially senior citizens. They get it because they're on a fixed income, right? They're not getting a bunch of money, so they get food stamps to take care of themselves. But people who have not paid into the system are coming over here and living large. And in fact, I think it was New York. The migrants there, they didn't like the food they was getting at the shelters. So they gave them a card that they can go buy whatever they want. And then Eric Adams talking about, oh, well, that money is going back into the community because they have to spend them at the bodegas. And it's like, they shouldn't be getting them anywhere. There's a woman probably somewhere in that same neighborhood, and this ain't because I watch Good Times, but it's probably cracking open a can of dog food for dinner, but yet they don't want to eat that because we're not used to that. In our country, we was eating this, that. So they get to go and buy what they want. It's lunacy. And every time you go to the booth and vote for the Democrats, and especially you don't ask them for something, you are making it possible for them to have they pinky in the air. I don't eat that. And they get a card to go buy what they want.
Yes. And you know, and let's not forget, it's not just Latin looking people that are crossing the border. You've got a bunch of Chinese that have crossed the border, especially here in Southern California. All they're seeing and catching right now, catching and releasing, that's another policy that was reversed by the Biden-Harris administration, the catch and release program. Bunch of Chinese people. But let's not forget a lot of the Africans and the Caribbean people of dark skin that are coming over as well. And the sad thing about those people is they are siding with Massa. As long as they're getting theirs and they're setting themselves up, they could care less what happens to the FBAs in this country. And it's telling. It's very sad.
Right. So again, y'all remember when y'all see all the people that Rickey referenced rolling in your joys and all, y'all remember that. Y'all remember they are mad because you were asking for something for your vote. And I always give this analogy, and I've given it for years, and I'm going to keep giving it. You go into a grocery store or any store, you're going to go buy some bread. And they say, you know what? We're out of bread. We don't have no bread. Are you going to leave your money on the counter and say, that's okay? Next time I come in here, I'm going to bring some more money and hopefully you'll have some bread for me. No, you wouldn't do that. You would take your money off the counter and say, I'll be back when you got something I could buy. That's how voting works. I will be back when you have something for me to vote for. And he also talked about our, the ancestors that have, come and gone and what they died for the vote, Medgar Evers and all of them. They did not die simply so you could vote. They died so you could get something for the vote. See, if you keep hearing that repeated, you think that's what it is. Oh, all I got to do is just go vote because they died for me to just go do it so I can get on social media with the sticker and said I voted. No, they wanted you to go in there and get something for our community. That's what they wanted. Right now, what we're doing is symbolism. So you can get up on social media. I voted. Look at me. I voted. Great. Because I did it a couple of times too. So I ain't going to lie to kick it. But what did you get when you went in there and cast a vote for whoever it is, whether it's the Republicans or Democrats? What did you get for that? I got a sticker. That's what I got, a sticker.
Well, let's look at the contrast outside of the matrix or in the matrix. Here in California, you used to be able to say, I'm from California, and that meant something. Like, oh man, you're living in California, beautiful place. It is very apparent whenever I see people that come visit California that are from the East Coast or from the South or from the Midwest, they don't want to come back here from what they see. It's like, this is the nightmare from the Matrix. And the funny thing is, all of the areas that you see are really bad with full of homeless and stuff like that, guess which party controls those areas? It's all Democratic areas, because if you go to Orange County and some areas in San Diego, you don't see homeless people, and I'm not downing homeless people, but what I'm saying is you don't see the trash and the crime and any of that stuff. Dimitri, it's been a while since you've been here. But the Fullerton police are busting heads in Fullerton, Orange County. They're busting heads down there. And Fullerton, I used to grow up there. That was a pretty chilled area to be in. But Fullerton is really big in the Asian community and Hispanic community, and they're busting heads down there, causing troubles. So if you guys have heard, Gavin Newsom passed a bill. Basically, it's almost a crime to be homeless. They're going to give these people no choices as they move them out. Now, why are they doing that?
And it's actually so yeah, he did, but they got the permission from the Supreme Court. They said,
right.
Yeah, y'all could do that to them.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. And one of the underlying reasons to do that is what's going to happen in 2028 in Los Angeles. The Olympics. The Olympics. They do not want the world to see what America really looks like. You know, in all my travels, it used to kill me when I would talk to people in other countries and oh, America. Oh, I can't wait to get there. Oh, it's going to be great. They make America sound like there's just gold in the streets. Everybody's driving Lamborghinis and just having this great thing because that's what they see on TV, right? And YouTube. I told them, I said, where are you? What are you guys talking about? Where is this place? In America? Where I'm from? New York City? I said, oh my God, obviously you guys haven't seen the real New York City or the real Los Angeles, because it's not what you think. But this is the facade that they throw out there. And so my analogy with that, with Rickey Smiley and all these Boulay people, the sad thing is they don't care. I have people that have PhDs that are living paycheck to paycheck in an apartment that are older than I am. And they told me they're voting for Kamala because she's a woman and she's a fellow sororo. These are educated people that are supposed to show us how to get a higher education and all that other good stuff. This is the Democratic. This is what the Democratic Party is pitching. No family values. And I'll give another example. How many of you guys know the young lady Brittany Renner? Okay, she's gone through her thing. She's a very successful YouTuber and all this other stuff like that. She is going through a phase now to where and I'm just saying allegedly, because I don't know if this, I don't know her business, but it looks like she might be heading toward Islam to get her life together. And if that's the case, more power to her. Amber Rose, here's a woman, very attractive woman, been out there. Everybody knows who she is. You can go on the internet, fellas, and look up her WAP. It's on the internet. It's on there. And she spoke at the RNC convention. These are the people that help lead Democratic policy to keep the families broken up and messed up and all this other stuff. Isn't it funny how as they get older and more conservative, when you get older, you do become more conservative. It's just a natural progression because your era is over. Another era is taking place. But now they're saying, wait a minute. I was doing all this. I'm liberal, woman this. Let me just, have, sex and all this other stuff. And look what it led them where they're at. And this is not a thing about morality. You can do what you want to do. But a lot of people are waking up and saying, wait a minute, I've done all of this. And what did I end up with? I have no husband. And for guys, we have, we're not getting married because the laws are against us. They're not incentivizing any of this stuff. But if you want to talk about family values, the Republican Party has a platform for that. And I'm going to ask you guys today, because I didn't check anything because I was at the gym. Demetra, what is Kamala Harris's platform and her vision for the United States as she runs for the presidency of the United States? I just want to know what her slogan is, her theme is something. Exactly.
Unless you put something on there since we've come on here, we don't know yet, right? I don't know.
This is the woman that wants to be president of the United States and no vision. So I can only go by this. If you are the vice president under the Biden-Harris administration, I can only assume that it will be a continuation of the current policies on steroids because you just grabbed a vice president that is so pro-immigration. It's ridiculous. So it's just going to be on steroids now.
And Inez, you make a good point. Said the homeless was flagged by the government to further humiliate them, knowing they helped the migrants, not their own citizens of California. So again, y'all think about that when Rickey Smiley and Roland and the rest of them getting on their high horses, talking down and snooty and spicy to you because you won't vote for more of nothing, but they don't never mention the homeless population that's predominantly Black or disproportionately Black is the homeless population here in America, especially in California, but you don't never hear them say nothing about that. They just tell you to get behind Kamala because your mama Black. Get behind Kamala because she's a AKA. But they don't never talking about people sleeping on the streets as the party because Kamala is very pro-immigration, very pro, and so is her vice president nominee. He's very pro-immigration. Hell, in his state, he was signed a bill so they could get driver's licenses.
Yeah, actually, his state is a sanctuary state. He signed an executive order to make it a sanctuary state.
Right. So they don't never talk about that kind of stuff, though. Why is that? They don't care. They only care about her being, and the sororities and that. They don't care. See, we care about people who are sleeping on the street as migrants are coming in here, getting all there is to get, but you got Black people sleeping on the street. And I'm sorry if I'm freezing up, y'all. It'll come back. But Black people sleeping on the street, but Rickey ain't gonna open his mouth about that at all. Kamala there's a lot she could do if she wanted to. But the first thing they tell you is, well, she's not going to be the president. The same thing they said with Obama. He can't just be the president of Black people, but he was the president of gay people. In fact, they called him the first gay president because he did all that LGBT legislation. He was the president of DACA recipients because, that came in under his administration. They help, children who weren't here, I don't want to call them a derogatory name, but basically they don't have citizenship. They gave them a pathway to citizenship. They could go to school, a whole bunch of other stuff. He was a president of that. He was also a president of the police. He created the blue, blue alert. The blue alert to let police officers know when somebody was out there looking for them. He didn't do a Black alert. He did give a cute little speech when Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Zimmerman. Oh, if I had a son and I'd be very concerned. That's all Black people got. Specifically was that from him. And then we voted him in twice. And he did more of nothing for us. Now Rickey is mad because we won't go and vote Kamala in to get more of nothing.
Right. Remember what Obama said? It would be a personal disrespect to me if you do not vote for Hillary. Keep my legacy intact. What a message did we send? The look on election night on those people's faces when Donald Trump was announced the winner. That goes to show you Black people were really, really upset even then. So again, it's just one of those things. And I want you guys to think about this. You gotta do the math. And I know a lot of people don't watch Fox. I really don't watch Fox. But they did do a town hall on CNN with some white women. And they asked them pertinent questions. They asked them, would you vote for Kamala Harris because she's a woman? The majority of the white women that they asked said, why would we vote for her? Because a lot of them couldn't stand her. And when we didn't vote for Hillary. So being female is not enough to galvanize the female vote. And I want you guys to remember this too. Joe Biden and Kamala got into office with what? 96% of the Black vote, Demetra? Was it 96%?
Who did?
Biden and Kamala. Biden and Kamala. They got into office with about 96% of the Black vote.
I think it was probably like 88, give or take.
Was it 88?
Yeah, Obama had those numbers, the 98, 96%.
Okay, well.
But it's still a lot.
Yeah, it's still a lot. Now they're saying at least 20% of the Black vote has tapered off, and a lot of you guys are going to sit the couch. Let's just do the numbers. Just by that. We know the swing states are the swing states. Kamala and Joe barely won. They barely won. They won the popular vote, Big deal. They barely won. If they lost 20% of the black vote, and white women won't necessarily vote for a woman because she's a woman, how are they going to win? If the Democrats want to win, they have to do something for black people now, not later, not when I get in office, because we're not falling for that either. Cori Bush is a cautionary tale. This woman got elected to work for her community, but what did she do? Oh, I'm on the squad. I'm going to represent these people. I'm going to represent the immigrants. I'm going to represent this people. Oh, we got to do this. Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, former congresswoman who was supposed to be on the qualified immunity committee. We tried. Then she runs for mayor. How many of you guys know, and I don't think it makes a difference, but how many of you guys know Karen Bass was married to a Hispanic man? They have a Hispanic daughter. In California right now, Hispanics are getting everything that they want, concessions from Karen Bass administration. Black people are getting a foot in their ass as they're being gentrified and put out of historically black neighborhoods in California.
And Brother Reggie, thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that. Joey says, I guess I'm not wanted here anymore, so this will be my last visit. Nice chatting with y'all, Demetri and Donovan. Honestly, this is the first time I saw you in the chat. And as I said, too, y'all please don't take it personally. It's, from my vantage point, it's almost 750 people watching today. So and y'all know, when we first started the show, it was, small, it was modest, and we could read everybody's comment, and we did, but it's just hard to do. If I was to read everybody's, if I was to read everybody's comment, we would be here all night. So, please do not take this personally that I'm not seeing your comments. I'm trying. I am, looking at the comments. I just can't address every last one of them. So, please don't take this personally. It is never our objective to hurt people or to ignore people or anything like that. So if you're still here, I hope that you would come back. So anyway, we about to get out of here anyway, because y'all know Brother Phil is about to come on. I think he is at 7:00 on the African Diaspora News Channel. And y'all know Brother Phil been dropping that heat. So I suggest y'all all go over there on the African Diaspora News Channel. He does a live show, and Brother Phil gonna bring the receipts. I know that he is doing policy watch to see if Kamala and now Tim Walz is gonna put up some policies so we can see, hey, okay, is there something in the bag for us, or and all that other stuff. So I don't know. And to this moment that I know of, Kamala has not done any interviews yet. She's still, running around the country, but she has not sat down and had a conversation with anybody, right? Because as they say, and my dad always says, when you open your mouth, you put your mind on display. So she's going to have to open her mouth and tell people what it is she's going to the White House to do. See, that's when the air starts to deflate out of her balloon, because it's like, we were good with you when you was playing Beyonce. You had all these rock'em sock'em rallies. It was good then, but now we get to hear you speak. We get to hear if you can answer those questions. If you're not
she's running on pretty. She's running on pretty. That's what she's running on.
Resting on pretty. Hey, Wild Williams, how you doing? She's right now. She's resting on pretty. She's that girl. She's just cute. And I know she's accomplished, so I don't want to take anything away from her. Hey, Damon, how you doing? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to not read people's comments. It's never that. Donovan and I said,
yeah, and by the way, I wanted to add this too. Quietly and secretly, Joe Biden, by executive order, is legalizing these illegal people. I mean, I think it was like 250,000 people. He just, by executive order, he keeps doing it every other day. He's just doing it by executive order, which gives them a right to stay in the United States.
Right. So anyway, y'all, we're going to get out of here. And Donovan and I did say one of these days soon, we're going to come up with a topic and we're going to walk away from it. And we're going to read all of you guys' comments. We're going to do a family member, because y'all family member appreciation day, where we are just going to read your comments, okay? And also keep in mind, with all of the comments, it's kind of hard for us to read it. So, and on my end, y'all might be talking to each other too, so I don't see that you're actually talking to somebody else unless you put like an @ or something. So, but we are going to do that for y'all because I know, you know, this is probably one of the only shows that we do read the comments, and I never ever want to be remiss in getting away from that, because I always say we cannot do this show without you all. This is what makes the show unique, is because we do acknowledge our family members. We do acknowledge y'all because I don't think it's right that you guys show up and just listen to us, you know, talk, right? We should acknowledge you as well. So please, please, please do not think we're trying to ignore you guys. We're really not. So anyway, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. We're going to get out of here and we will be back here on Sunday. Hopefully you guys all show up for another exciting conversation. But again, Rickey Smiley and them, y'all need to start taking them to task and ask them, what are we going to get to show up for Kamala? And if he can't tell you what you're going to get, because he actually, in the front of that, that I didn't put on, he actually was telling people to block us. Just block them, ignore them. Don't listen to them anymore. So it's like, but I thought democracy was in danger. And there he is trying to endanger it. So anyway, you guys be blessed. Go check out Brother Phil, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm sure he's going to have a great show. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on Sunday. Peace.